Today is the end of July, and we've gotten enough sufficient questions to post a video about the PSLF buyback period. I will be screen sharing the student aid site for those of us who are visual to walk through some of it. The reason I specifically want to walk through the PSLF buyback period is because those that are public servants are being put on administrative pause via the SAVE program, and they're concerned that their time that they're put on this deferment period is not going to count towards PSLF, but do not fret. It can possibly count towards PSLF and will likely count towards PSLF as long as you work for a public service employer. So let's go through some of this. I'm going to shrink my face so you can see the student aid site. I will be giving my overview context to this so you do not feel like you need to read all of it or understand all of it. I will give you, I will define each point for you in this article. But I, of course, want to source straight from the official site and not pull up any unofficial site because sometimes there is inaccurate information. So I just like to go to the horse's mouth, as they say, right? So yay, there's an, I'm going to use the confetti feature of this recording. Yay. The Department of Ed has specified the criteria for buyback, which means you can get, simply means you can get more payments counted towards public service loan forgiveness sooner rather than later. So if you've worked a specific amount of time that because of forbearance, deferment, or specific hardship, or you were in military, Peace Corps, AmeriCorps, that wasn't counted, you can get counted, okay? Of course, I can't guarantee it because I don't control it, but these are the rules. Okay, so to get into the nitty-gritty, first and foremost, the most important tip in PSLF buyback that I cannot reiterate enough is that you have to come to the end of your 120 payments. So if you're concerned about buyback and you're on payment number 30, it's like, don't concern yourself. Put it in a calendar for 7 years from now with details in that calendar to remind you to think about it, because if you're anxious, you're going to forget. You could do that, but there's nothing you could do right now in month 30 to try to get buyback. So I want to make that very, very clear. So first and foremost, check your account with your PSLF servicer, which will be Mohila, most likely before, unless it's been transferred, because PSLF management is supposed to be transferred to the Department of Ed. So that's why they say PSLF servicer. Some people are serviced by other entities that isn't Mohila because they haven't filed their public service form yet, in which case you will roll, your servicer will be changed at that point. That's why they're using a generic PSLF servicer. You want to certify any unreported periods of time. So let's say you worked for 10 months at a nonprofit, but you never certified your income. You need to go ahead and do that so that they have proof that you work for a nonprofit. That's step number one. You want to make sure that the time you work for it or for government is actually documented, and that they have evidence of that, right? And they say that you should look into point 3, your payment count adjustment. You really want to look at that starting this fall to make sure that is up to date first, since that's really important to understanding any additional buyback cost. And so you need to get your payments counted, make sure your payment count is accurate, and that needs to be up to date first and foremost. That's point number 3, right? Verify the months of deferments or forbearance you want to buy back and confirm you were at a approved qualified employer. That essentially means how to verify buyback eligibility months. Obviously, they need to be a public servant qualified entity. I'm going to click this link and see what other additional details they give us. I think it's probably just going to be, I didn't click on that link yet. It's probably just going to be a search for the employer in a search tool. I'm sorry, my internet's so slow. Taking a moment here. Okay, this is not, Okay, so yeah, they're actually, I looked at this article yesterday. So for example, months. This is basically in the counter. You'll see specific green months that they counted. You want to make sure the months that aren't counted, you actually work for a qualifying employer. So if you do not work for a qualifying employer, that's probably going to be the first issue. But if you did, um, you want to get evidence by submitting the employer certification form. If you do not know how to do that, or you can't through the help tool because it's been down last week or so, we could do it for you here at LoanSense as well. Will we assist you in doing it? But we can go around the federal filing system. Also, you want to submit a buyback request through PSLF reconsideration, and it says to include the following language. And we can help borrowers with this as well. I have at least 120 months of approved qualifying employment, and am seeking PSLF or teacher loan forgiveness, by the way, or temporary expanded, public service loan forgiveness through the PSLF buyback. Please assess my eligibility for PSLF buyback. They want you to use that very specific language for your consideration for the buyback, because it's basically, they're going to have to tell you, your servicer, how much money do you owe on your loan to get those months qualified for PSLF. That's essentially what this is you're basically going to say, I'm going to pay for those months that I didn't, so you could get your 120 payments fully counted, right? And get the remaining of your balance forgiven. So let me see. Okay, so I'm looking at I was hoping they were going to show us okay, I thought they were going to actually show us the form at this link, but I misunderstood this link. Let's look. As well, we look and learn together, although I looked thoroughly at this article before I started this video. Of course, there's okay, so what they want me to do is to log in. I don't have that information right now, but basically there's, of course, paperwork to submit for the buyback. If you're eligible to buy back months, we'll email you a buyback agreement with the amount to pay and instructions to pay the full amount within 90 days of the email. So exactly what I said, the point before I read it, is basically once they see the months that your employer is certified that you have not paid, they will determine your buyback amount. Most likely your buyback amount will be based on what your current payment is. So if your payment has increased significantly from that time in which you need the buyback, well, you're paying today's rate. So if your payment is $500 a month, you're going to be paying 500 times whatever it is. They're not going to do the buyback period based on your income from 5 years ago if it was 5 years ago, okay? So I want to be clear. So if you do want to pay a lower amount, I would even suggest recertifying for a lower proof of income and then requesting a buyback. That's also to reducing the potential buyback cost. That is a pro tip and a hack. Since the rules on the buyback have just been released, I don't know if that's 100% foolproof, but I do know it has worked when people were trying to go for temporary expanded relief and submitting forgiveness. I do know some hacks of those natures have worked, of that nature have worked in the past, just working in the student loan world. So I just wanted to mention that. Let us know if you have any questions, comment. If there's anybody that's a public servant that have student loans that can benefit, please share, please like, please subscribe. And of course, we welcome all your questions. If there's anything we can help with the PSLF buyback, with public service in general, with managing your SAVE program or another program, if you should leave pay as you earn because now it's expired from re-enrollment, we can help you make all those decisions. If you're going to have an amazing year this year, next year, get married, and there's implications on getting married, on your payments, we're here to help you understand that as well. We're just here to help. So myloansense.com, and please like, comment, and we try to answer all your questions. So Have a great day.